for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see
Well, hey there, everybody. We're Robin Winona, right back at you here with you.
Hello, how are y'all doing?
Here to talk about upgrading your love life.
And what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There's so many things that upgrading your love life can mean. It's a matter of, first of all, making sure that you're not in a situation where you have to try too hard. Uh, every relationship is going to take work. Every relationship is going to require you to put something into it. One of the things that we've had to tell some people is that any relationship needs to be two-way.
Most definitely.
If you're ever in a situation where you're the one that's putting everything into the relationship, but you're not getting anything back, then you're actually treating the relationship like an idol. And secondly, and that idol is going to drain you and then leave. The other part of it is if you're not trying hard enough, in other words, you're not giving back of yourself, then you're actually creating a situation that's just the opposite. You are letting the other person treat you like an idol, and one of these days they will wake up and realize I'm pouring and not receiving. They'll get drained and leave as well.
Most definitely.
So when we start talking about what does it mean to upgrade?
Yeah, what does it mean?
What does what does it mean to you, to your love life?
You just touch bases on a lot of, you're talking about. You want to make sure that everything is good. If you don't have that communication in your love life, then it makes it very hard.
So we're just saying some people are in relationships where the communication just isn't there. The companionship is, but the communication isn't.
Exactly.
That feels a lot like having a relationship with a puppy, right?
Well, pup can't talk back to you, but
Sure, they'll be around you. They'll
mhm.
snuggle up with you to watch television or watch a movie. But if you want to share something deep, they'll sit there, but they really won't comprehend and they won't really give you any feedback except for a lick on the face.
Yeah, this is true.
So, what about the other part of the question? How do you upgrade your love life?
What do you mean? How do you upgrade your love life?
How would someone upgrade your love life?
You touch base on that. What? How? Give me some of the things that you're thinking.
Well, first of all, if you're not in a relationship yet,
Okay.
you take a look at the past relationships that you've been in. You take a look at yourself and ask, how did I contribute to the demise of that previous relationship?
Okay.
It could have been your selection process.
Okay.
It could have also been how you acted in that relationship. You see, a lot of times people want to take a look at their failed relationships pointing at the other person. Oh, she did this or he did that. She cheated on me. He was running around. And this is not to give them a pass. There is no justification for infidelity. No justification. But the wise and mature person will ask, what did I do to contribute to this situation?
Okay.
Now
Understood.
again, that part of that contribution could be choosing someone who's prone to do those things.
Okay.
And, for example, a lot of times we'll see someone who is waiting for the man to divorce his current wife
Oh my God.
so they can continue into their relationship and get married. Oh, he said he was going to divorce.
Yeah, but and what do you think that their marriage is going to be like? And what do you think their marriage is going to be like?
The man,
honestly.
yeah. the man has already telegraphed that I am the type of person who will cheat on my spouse. And while that might feel good when you're the object of his desire currently, keep in mind there's a spouse, there's a wife out there that he is cheating on. And you're trying to get into the role that she's currently in. 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, are you going to be the wife that's cheated on as he's looking for his next thing?
Or what if she does it to him?
Well, same thing.
Same thing.
So one of the things is to take a look at who we're getting involved with,
Mm-hmm.
who we're getting into a relationship with, and then we can start to make good decisions. If you're already in a relationship and you want to talk about upgrading, that's when you talk about upgrading yourself.
Yeah, because I was, when you even said that we were about to do this stuff, I was just like, so yes, you did get that strange look. So, but
Well,
I'm glad that you are, you know,
and the point is, at times, whenever you're in a relationship and you have the intent to work on it,
okay.
then you look to see what I can do to make things better.
This is true.
In a relationship, so many of us are so bent on pointing at the other person saying, well, she needs to fix this and she needs to get better at that and she needs.
And he needs.
But the reality is, I need to be more cognizant of her needs. If I can just focus on me, I am the only person that I can change.
Woo!
So,
Say it again to the people in the back one more time, please.
I am the only person that I can change.
Exactly.
Winona is the only person that she can change.
Exactly.
And so, as we take a look at each other, first of all, we make a good decision to make sure that we are going to be a good fit together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as those gaps are still there, we learn how to give each other grace, where we need to give each other grace, and how to move forward in those understandings.
It's good.
So, when we put this question out there in social media, we got a few responses back. Let's see. How do you upgrade your love life? Well, Rhonda from Ohio said, date more.
Date more?
Date more. Yeah. I had to push back on that one a little bit.
I think I'm pushing back myself because, wait, what?
Because I said date more, so you're choosing quantity over quality? And then she explained a little bit more. She says, the quality of men these days is in a marginal decline. I'll break bread with the enemy as long as they're not cooking. So, what I hear in this tone is someone who's really kind of given up on finding true love and they're just looking for companionship.
Okay. Yeah, but that can only last so long.
And she's willing to go on another date. Yeah, companionship with the same person can only last so long because it's not deep enough to dig any roots.
Yeah, but I think even that would just, you don't want to, again, date more means with several people. You don't want to do that either because at the end of the day, dating like that, you get tired.
You do.
It would tire you out.
And actually, some people really enjoy the newness of a new date, a fresh, brand new relationship.
Yeah.
Um, but there gets to be a point in time, at least for many people, I know this was the case for me, where you wake up and there's something serious going on in your life. And you look around to see, well, who is there to help me through this? Who is there that I can lean on? Who is there that is willing, has the trust to lean on me whenever they're going through something? And there becomes the inner workings of that deep bond. It's not just a matter of needing each other, but it's a matter of trusting each other when in need.
Hmm.
And that becomes such a beautiful thing that you cannot get when you're just doing casual dates and having random companions here and there.
It's true.
So we had another point of feedback.
So how do you upgrade your love life? And Ruby said,
Ruby from Tacloban. Be more caring and sensitive to your loved one. This one, I stood up and applauded. I wrote her back and said, "Look, you are one of the few people who answered this with an insular mindset, looking introspectively. What can I put into the relationship to improve it?" And if more of us had that point of view, we'd all have, well, those people who did would have better relationships.
This is true.
If we all had that point of view, we would all have better relationships. There's what we call a victim mentality.
I'm laughing at you because I was just thinking it like 5 minutes ago. But
So tell me,
yeah.
what to you is a victim mentality?
I mean, it's a person that's always blaming everybody else instead of blaming themselves. Or because they can't be a victim and everything. You have to take responsibility of your own actions.
Exactly. I think back to the person who gets a speeding ticket,
Yeah.
and then they come home and they say, "Oh, that cop gave me a speeding ticket."
No.
No, actually, I think you earned it. You earned that speeding ticket.
Yeah.
It was your fault.
85 and a 65, son. You just speed ticket all day long.
You know, you know. And I'm saying this as a guy who's gotten more than my share of speeding tickets. Yeah, oh, he gave me a ticket. No, no, Rob. You earned that ticket. You worked hard and you got it. So yeah, when you're looking at, oh, that my partner is always doing this and always doing that, and they're to blame for this and they're to blame for that, and they're the reason why I didn't have a good dinner tonight. Really? Um,
But you could fix your own self something to eat.
you could have fixed your own self. You could have suggested something different.
This is true.
You could have made them dinner. But it is very common. It's natural for us to want to blame other people because we rarely want to take on the blame ourselves. But it's a truly mature person who can take it to that level and say, you know what, my bad.
Own it.
I'm going to own this.
Yep.
I am going to own this.
This is true.
We'll talk. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about ownership in just a few moments.
Oh, wow. Really?
Whew. How do you upgrade your love life? Another question, response. Actually, that was the same one. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
There we go. Gemma from Evansville. Thank you, honey. Let people know the real you.
Wow. Be authentically yourself.
Wow.
Come into relationship. Oh, this one just touches me because, yes, you need to bring forth you, not your representative. We had a friend. And that ever since he said that, it has stuck with me.
Yes.
Because he was dating, of course, and it's like, bringing forth the representatives and stuff. And I'm just like, this doesn't make good sense. You bring forth who you are. And if whoever you're talking to, dating, whatever it is, if you don't give yourself and you just give them somebody else, and then next thing you know, you become you, which was already you, and then it's like, well, what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me. This is who I am. Do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't make good sense.
Now, I'll be totally transparent with you. I'm not sure I ever told you this before, but yeah. After we had been seeing each other for a while, my kids said to me, "You know, Dad, you're more yourself with Miss Winona than I've seen you with anybody else."
That's wonderful, because I'm glad you didn't bring forth a representative, because I don't like fakes. And we actually talk about fakes and players and all different stuff like that.
Yes, we do.
If you're going to be who you are, say who you are. Whew.
Yeah, the thing is, I can be a bit of a cut up sometimes,
a little bit,
a little silly sometimes. It makes you smile. In fact, the other night you just couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Tears streaming down your face. You're laughing so hard, and I didn't even know why. I think I was just funny looking at the time. I don't know, but when we got to it, I realized, I can just be me. And a lot of people would just look at that and say, "Oh, Rob is just so annoying." But this one right here, she loves me enough that she laughs.
Yeah, because you do annoy me. You really do. And I imagine I annoy you too, but hey, We make it work.
We make it work.
We make it work.
But there are others that I have dated that the kids have seen me around, and I would not be that loose, that comfortable, that open enough to just be me and be silly, whether you're gonna laugh or not. I was afraid that being that authentic would actually turn them off. If you really saw the real me, you probably wouldn't like me. So I'm going to show you the best me all the time.
But that gets tiring.
It does. It does. And thank God those relationships didn't last long enough
Yeah.
for it to get tiring. It just somehow, that was it. That was it. That was all. Over and done. And I can look back and see the error in my ways. But in the time, like I said at the very beginning, when you're pouring yourself in, and part of pouring yourself in can be just doing more than you should to appease the other person, doing more than you should to try and align with the other person. There should not be that much effort in it. It should just be natural.
Very natural, yes. Because I mean, it doesn't make, like I said, it doesn't make sense. Because it does. It would, after a while, you just keep bringing forth what you consider to be the best you. You know, it gets tiring. And then when you're not having, you know, that time to be the best you that you keep bringing forth, and you having a moment, then they look at you like, "Who are you?" I'm who I am.
But if you're not being natural, what do you need? An upgrade.
Okay, touche.
So here's the next question. What does it mean to upgrade your love life? Scott from Montana said, to find my best friend.
Well, that's nice.
It is nice. And I do have to applaud because Scott was the very first guy who responded that didn't respond with something that was lewd and nasty. And I can't even repeat some of the things that were mentioned. And I asked myself, no, I didn't ask myself. I made a statement to myself. This is why you guys are single. If that's what you're thinking, it's not a mystery. Not a mystery at all. But finding your best friend, wow. As I take a look at this one right here, I do have to say that she has been my absolute best friend since we met. And I ask myself, well, what constitutes a best friend?
Yeah, explain that.
Sometimes we look at a best friend, oh, they're the person that gives me the most. Oh, they're the ones that validates me the most. That's not a best friend. That's a cheering section. That's a cheerleader. Sometimes you really just need the cold hard truth.
Woo, yep,
Even if
that part right there, because to have a best friend is to have that. Because like you said, if your person is gonna keep giving you praises all the time, are you doing great? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? They're your cheerleading section. Your best friend is the one, like you saying, is the one to be like, look, your eye is lazy.
really,
And I'm just gonna let you know that it is. But I love it. You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna start wearing sunglasses during these.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there is a balance too, right?
And
there is affirmation. Sometimes some people, that's their top one or two love languages, affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not just pure affirmations. Excuse me. There's not just pure affirmations though. There's also the constructive criticism, where you give enough affirmations that you can comfortably come in and say, well, you know what, Rob, you kind of missed a spot in shaving. You shaved off half of your mustache today. I'm not sure if you realize that. But I love you anyway.
Left a portion of your head. Oh, don't mind us. Go ahead.
But on the other times, if you've already said, "Wow, man, that the way you did your goatee today, you just trimmed it up perfect." There's a balance.
There's a balance.
Yeah. And being able to just candidly share with the other person, for someone who can candidly share with you and you can accept and receive it,
mm-hmm.
That's part of being a best friend.
Yes, it is.
Always being there. Someone that I can count on. Someone that she can count on. And of course, having each other's back. Whenever someone is in your corner, no matter what, they might pull you aside and say, I'm not sure that was the best move,
Hmm.
but since you made that move, that is our move, and we're going to own this together.
Own it together.
That camaraderie in friendship is amazing.
Yes,
It
it
goes a
is.
long, long way. Wow. Yeah, have anything else to say about friends? Best friend? Finding your best friend?
Nope, I think we touched bases on a lot of that. So,
Well, you're going to have a pretty good question coming up here, so you're
oh,
going to get your chance to talk.
oh,
Let's see. What does it mean to upgrade your love life? Richelle from Manila said, find true love.
wow. And
Which is,
how do you find true love?
it is a process.
Yeah.
It is a process.
Yes.
Part of it is finding out who you are. What do you need? When you take a look at puzzle pieces, sometimes we think about, well, I want to find someone who fits with me. But if you don't know who you are, how can you find that piece that fits?
Oh, that's good. That's
So,
real good.
it's first step is finding out who you really are, and yeah, we can guide you through that. We've got tried and true ways to let you know, to help you find out and discover who you are at the points that it really matters when it comes to joining with somebody else. And then there is knowing who you want to join with.
Okay.
Looking for those key things that are truly important for lifelong love from your perspective. Not a single thing we do is cookie cutter from a standpoint of we're just going to throw a blanket prescription at you and say this is the person you should look for. No, we work with you to find out who you need, who you're looking for, what is going to help you find lifelong love.
And how do we do that? Give them just one thing that we do.
One thing that we do, oh goodness. Well, again, the very foundation is to discover who you are.
Exactly.
Um, Discover where your validation should come from. Because the thing is, if you're looking for someone else to complete you, sometimes people look at those puzzle pieces as, well, I'm not a completed puzzle unless I have got my puzzle piece. No,
No.
that's not how it should be. You should be a complete whole picture in and of yourself. And then find someone who complements you. Someone who works, who's a beautiful addition to the portrait that you already are. And then we can get on with the rest of everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think is a key to finding true love?
Again, I think that when you find true love, you gotta this like you. I mean, you touched it. You have to be whole, because with the person that you're looking for, or you want the person that is gonna find you, they're gonna find you whole, and they're not gonna find you basically in pieces. Because then you if you're in pieces and you're with somebody, oh, please help me get whole. No, you find your wholeness first. You
Mm.
find your wholeness in God. You get yourself together, so that when you are with that person that you meet, you can be your best authentic self.
Yes. Ooh, and you touched on something right there. Um, you have to make sure that you're not needing the healing,
Exactly.
because there's two sides to that, right? One is hero worship, and the other is the Florence Nightingale effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hero worship is someone comes in and rescues you and helps you heal, and you feel like, wow, they're so amazing because they helped me out with this. They helped me through this rough spot. And they just, you feel their love through their care, even if it's not a romantic love, but you feel it and you want to turn it into a romantic love because now you feel connected. But the reality is, outside the context of your pain, outside the context of your healing, that care and love doesn't exist. It doesn't know its place there. And so whenever you're done healing, eh, it's it's not what you thought it would be. So one of two things happens. Either one, the relationship falls apart because what was holding it together is not there, or two, and this is where codependency comes into place.
Okay.
Two, um, the person who needed to be healed, they remain in a state of needing to be healed. It gives the person who's giving the care a purpose, and it gives the person who needs the care the the sensation of love that they're looking for. But that's not a way to live. It's not a way to live in a constant state of needing healing, because the healing is the basis or the foundation for the love that you're getting. Stay away from it. So totally don't get involved whenever you're hurting. Don't get involved with someone who is hurting.
Yes.
Wow, didn't mean to go to that deep, but hey,
No.
here's that question for you.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness,
Oh,
here we go.
goodness.
Winona, when did you know that you had upgraded?
When
And I'm assuming that you feel like you did.
Aye, honey. So when we started our journey, basically, and coming into this, knowing that we put God first. That was for me for knowing the upgrade that God was first in our relationship, and once to me that was the best part of it because we put Him before we put before ourselves because we both collectively said I love God more than I love you, because once we put Him at the very front of our relationship, everything else goes underneath that. Not to say haven't had any bumps in the road. However, with that, we were able to make, with God, like I said, we have Him in the forefront of it, able to move past those things. Because if you don't have that stableness and stuff, it's just you will let the enemy is going to try to destroy. He really is because he doesn't want to see a family together and making progress and everything he needs to do. So he's going to throw everything at you, just like arrows, and stuff. So, but definitely know with me personally saying my upgrade with you was having that you're caring, you're understanding, you listen. You do get on there sometimes, but hey, that's marriage, and I've heard it from a lot of people. Stop that. But also just knowing that because collectively within the last few months and stuff, we've been, I can't so much say we have been through a lot.
Yeah.
And
When you go through a lot, I
I
go through a lot with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. But having you there is been really wonderful. I cannot say, and again, if you do know our backstory and stuff, I just cannot collectively say that I had such a strong support. If that makes sense. So, not all the time.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I do have a similar question to answer for you as well.
Oh, okay.
Rob's moment of revelation that I upgraded. Now,
So true.
but it's not annoying at all, right?
No.
I knew from the very beginning that she's the best gal that I had ever dated. But I say that with a caveat. The caveat is when you're in at the beginning of a relationship, you have this thing called new relationship energy. And the person that you're with in that new relationship, they're better than anything that you've ever had before. That's just how the brain works. That's just how relationships work. In fact, this is part of the danger of emotional relationships whenever you're married. You start to know someone and you get that new relationship energy with someone who's not your spouse, even before you've slept with them, even before you've crossed the line. Your heart is delving into that new relationship energy that makes you feel like maybe I should be with this new girl, this new woman instead of my wife. So that's one of the reasons just to stay away from that stuff altogether. But at the beginning of a relationship, at the beginning of our relationship, I recognized that, yeah, I think she is all that and a bag of chips. I also realized that, of course, I'm going to feel that way naturally. So I pumped the brakes on how far we would go until we got past a certain stage and I could look at her with objective eyes and realize, you know what? She is still all that and a bag of chips.
So you're saying when we got past those rose colored glass
Yes.
time frame.
Yes. And so I knew that she was someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, of course. But I had not really thought about upgrade until it was probably last week. Something happened last week. You see, there was someone that I was seeing before Winona and I met. And again, I thought that girl was all that and a bag of chips. And whenever we broke up, before we got before I got involved with Winona, before we even met, I threw away all I deleted pictures, I got rid of things. It's all part of the process of severing ties with an ex. We teach you how to do this, and I went through that process. And I really felt like my heart had been just cleared out from the influences of this previous woman. But sometimes there's things that you can't clear out. It'll be something that pops up in your life that makes you remember, oh yeah, I remember something about her. You don't dwell on it, you don't soak it in, but you remember, yeah, I had feelings for her, and you kind of remember those feelings.
Or a picture pops up.
Picture pops up. And that's what happened last week. Last week a picture popped up. It was from 5 years ago. It was from before Winona and I met. And I looked at this picture, and I kid you not, although I thought she was so amazingly beautiful when we were dating, I looked at her and said, yeah, not as attractive to me as she used to be. It was the same picture. I mean, it's not like the picture aged. I mean, it's the same picture, but just it wasn't there. And I recognized in an instant that my feelings just not no they weren't just subdued. They were gone,
Exactly.
just absolutely gone. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. And then this happened. I brushed away that memory that Facebook presented, and then Facebook presented me another memory from 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, it was a picture of Winona doing something amazingly sweet for me.
Washing your car.
Yeah, I was washing my car, washing and waxing a car that I my car broke down. We had to replace it. I was content on just getting an old jalopy. And she said, no, we're going to get you something nice. And she went out and she found a nice car, used, but it was very nice, in impeccable condition for the age that it was. I mean, it was a steal. And she insisted that we get it. And we brought it home, washed it up, waxed it up, and yeah, the picture was of her taking care of this new vehicle that she insisted that we get for me. When I take a look at that previous relationship, part of the reason why I was so invested in it was because I was pouring so much of myself into it. but I really wasn't getting much back from it. And whenever I say you can pour something, you can pour yourself into an idol to the point that it drains you and leaves you, I talk from experience. And then fast forward to 2 years ago, where this amazing lady is saying, you know what? Not only am I going to pour into you, I'm going to help you. I'm going to just show you love that I'm hoping is unmatched. And so sometimes we go back and forth with trying to outdo each other and what we're giving and doing for each other. We keep pouring into each other. And that revelation was the point of like, wow, I really upgraded when I found Winona. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, with all that, we had a good, lively conversation here. Didn't have many people chiming, actually, didn't really have many people logging in, and no questions were asked. But you know what? I think we covered a lot of good stuff here today.
I think we did too.
Indeed, we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and close out. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And until next time, upgrade.
Upgrade.
Know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty